And on this episode of Light on the Trail, we get a perspective from the spouse of a trail runner, my wife, Jordan Colburn. Oh boy. Our anniversary is coming up. I can't remember what day it is. Is it the 11th?
No.
See, I don't know.
October 1st.
It's the 1st?
Yes.
Oh, crud.
Yeah. Like in a few days.
And then like... Oh, now they're not going to do it. Okay. There they are. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Our lovely roosters are crowing. On this episode of Light on the Trail podcast, I have a very special guest. We're going to get a different take on things. We have someone who is an owner of the chickens we hear, as I am too. Not a runner, but also she's the spouse of a runner. So I thought that'd be an interesting take on this. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while and talking to her about. And then sure enough, my buddy Briston on his podcast, Texas Outlaw Running, he had his wife on just last week or so and beat me to it. But here we are. I am with Jordan Colburn, my wife. And there she is. So I thought this would be fun to kind of get your point of view or perspective from, a lot of people that have a wife or husband and that person runs a lot and it takes a lot of time. You think it takes a lot of time for runners to go run?
Yes, it does.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
I just feel like it takes up a big old portion of the day, but you're really good about, letting me know ahead of time before you go run. But I fully expect you to be gone for hours at a time whenever you do go run. So we have to plan accordingly in our evening or morning plans for when you're doing that.
Yes, I think that's a good point to make. Kill the chicken.
Don't. He doesn't mean it.
I know. It's just...
just bad timing.
Yes. Communication, right, in any relationship is very important. So like the least I can do, that I run. So when I'm trying to run...
So much.
I can say, hey, Jordan, I'm trying to run this day. Or currently I'm off Fridays. So it's usually Friday. Or around this time I could be coming home or finishing a run or something like that.
You are good about, trying to run really early in the mornings, like before the sun even thinks about coming up. That way you're back at a decent time, so we still have the day together. So I do really appreciate that.
I need to do that more because that is the best time. That's what a lot of runners do is like get up and get it done early in the morning. I think it's a great way to start your morning or your day.
I agree.
Because you've already done like a difficult thing and that's uncomfortable. So the rest of the day is going to feel like what I just did, 5 or 10 or whatever miles and everything else is, still progress that I've made for the day. But as far as time goes, and especially with family, yes, I feel like that's the best time to do it if you can, is really early. That way you're done. And then like y'all would still be asleep and then I get home and everyone's waking up. So it's like, or they've only been awake for a little bit. So like,
yeah,
that's the best time, or really late.
It's really pretty, impressive. I wish that I was as good at self-discipline as you are. It's very admirable.
You've come with me to run a couple times.
Yeah, and I hated every second of it.
Would you like to explain
that I died a couple times?
When we went, I spent a couple months, but we did a little more distance than I thought we were going to do.
Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, let's just go on this joyful little run one beautiful Friday morning. It's like, okay, sure. So we go on this run, and then we're how many miles in?
Oh, I don't know. We were planning to do just like a 5K or something, like 3 or 2 miles. Yeah.
We were planning for 2 miles. I was planning for 2 miles. And he's like, oh, I think this trail will take us back to the beginning. Lies. All lies. It was definitely another like 2 miles. It was terrible.
Yeah, it took us out to, which I'm still, I feel pretty comfortable about all the trails now. But that mess, people complain about it. It's definitely, it could use some more markings out here. At Chisenhall is a place we run it a lot. And we were coming through one of the trails and just running around and let's, enjoy this morning. And I went off into a section, I think it's called Goatman's Island, and it's like a 3-ish mile. It's like one of the biggest chunks you can get into, and you have to come back to like the same point almost. So yeah, it doubled like what we had done. But I think that was really good because you still did it. Like we stopped and we walked and talked for a little bit, and then we picked up jogging and stuff. And like you led for a little bit because I didn't want you to like see me in front of you and worry about that. So, but it was good and we got it done.
I'm sure that was torture for you, having to stay at my pace.
No, it was good. And I know at the winery, I said we ran like again one time. I took
Yes.
the kids up there, and I want to have them on also
That would be cute.
and see what they have to say.
Oh, they would love it.
Oh yeah, they'd be yelling in the mics and stuff. But
Yeah.
my goodness. How long is a marathon?
27 miles? 26.
Ooh.
27?
Oh my gosh, 26. It's like 26 point something.
Okay, so
Yeah, very good. Do you know what's like considered an ultra?
50K and higher?
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. 30 miles and up pretty much is I think like the general agreement.
I listen.
You do listen to me. That's what I was just gonna say. I was like, wow, I thought we were gonna have some silly conversation right now, and she's like, what else do you got? Okay.
What made you decide to do running instead of the obstacle course racing that you were super into for a minute?
So I was in like 3 years or something.
Yeah, a long minute.
Yeah. When I started doing school, so I did like competitively obstacle course racing. Dude.
Leave Robert out of this.
And for a few years, and that was really, really great. It's probably like some of the fittest I've been because it requires a little more. That's why I liked it, is I've always been more of like a runner, but it also requires like picking up a heavy sandbag and climbing over this wall and going under this barbed wire or whatever, like a mixture of things.
Kind of like a full body thing instead of just running.
Yeah. I felt like with running the distances and things, and like, which now I guess I was more of in a competitive mindset with the obstacle course racing stuff, because I was trying to compete and partially not to just win money, but to push myself. I definitely found out if I sign up for something, and then once I made it like the competitive wave, which costs more, that those people are going to be trying harder. So I want to try harder. So I would train and run more. During that time, the longest I would run is like an hour. I thought that was like bananas. Like,
Yeah.
dude, 8 miles or like an hour long running was like, dude, that's plenty. That's crazy.
Yes.
And it was mostly a little bit of trails. When I started, I think we lived out in Fredericksburg, and they had some trails out there. I've definitely always liked the trails more than road because you're like out in the nature, and I think it's better to look at and better for you.
Yes. I agree. And I love the nature too.
And then stopped around the time I started doing the schooling, and that was like 2.5 years, 3 years. And that's when I kind of picked up the arm wrestling thing during that time because I missed doing something and being competitive. And I wanted to try something completely different. So definitely not a running endurance kind of thing. It was all like max horsepower output, but there's some skill to it too. So I definitely got inspired by seeing smaller guys beat bigger guys, and I was like, what? Like, so it doesn't matter if you're like just brute strength. That was neat. And ultimately I missed running. Like I remember us driving, and I would like look out in the field like, man, that looks like a nice place to run. I want to run out there. And you're like, what is wrong with you?
Yes.
But I missed the running, and I thought it was a good time to just run and get into the endurance side of stuff, which is a whole nother animal.
It is. And I still don't understand why people like doing it, but I think it's, really cool that you work so hard at it. And what'd your mom say when we watched your marathon? Like, why are you running? There's nobody even chasing you.
Oh, yeah. So she thinks she's so funny.
She is funny.
Yes, that's kind of what kickstarted it this year, right? I was turning 30 in May, and then I found there's a marathon since I was already thinking about getting back into running. And there's a marathon like a couple days after my birthday. I was like, perfect. So let's train for that. And then it's just kept on growing, and I like running. And
that is the weirdest birthday present anyone has ever asked for.
It's better than some other junk. Memories.
Of dying.
Physical items. I did good. That was great.
You did do really good.
Great.
I was very impressed.
But yeah, and then you it's great because it's definitely all kinds of people. And you can probably remember that even going to the OCR races or to some of the 5Ks I've done this year, seeing just all kind of body shapes and
Oh yeah,
ages and stuff up
yeah,
there. And you're like, wait, if they can do it,
right,
I
right.
could, yeah.
Seeing
So
this
it's,
like 80-year-old woman just cruising
yeah,
along. I'm
yeah,
like, oh my gosh, what am I doing?
yeah, that's really great.
Yeah,
Um,
it was very inspiring.
Seeing the people at the longer distances and things, I was just, I was going to start this off making a couple announcements. I forgot. Um, I'll do it now since I'm about to talk about more about Texas Outlaw running. It says been a couple things. It's been posted a couple places. I know on their website and then our social. But if you're listening and don't know, yeah. So I'm the assistant race director now with Briston, or Briston owns and is the race director of Texas Outlaw Running. So now I'm an assistant director of Texas Outlaw Running. So I just went to my second event to help him with over the last weekend, and it was all the way from a 10K to a 100K, 62 miles, and that's crazy. But what I'm getting at is, yeah, being there, kind of like at an aid station. If you listen to the aid station episode, it's just like awesome helping people get to push themselves and do what they didn't think they could do. That's pretty awesome, and that's what I really like about the sport because it is all kinds of people, and you see someone like there's plenty of people. I've never ran more than like 34 miles an hour or so, and there's plenty of people doing like the 52-mile thing there, and I was like, holy cow, like what an animal. I had that same thought, like if they can do it, I can do it. But
Yeah.
it can be very inspiring.
I will say with the events that you have partaken in, that everyone is very supportive. Like when I did the Conquer the Gauntlet with you, and there's people like at the top of the walls, like waiting up there to help you, like to
Yeah.
pull you up, and just be like, "Come on, man, you got this, you got this." You know, there's a lot of camaraderie, and it's really
Yep.
cool.
Yep. It's fun. It's definitely motivating and inspiring stuff. And the same a lot of people you make like your acquaintances or friends they definitely can become long-term friends, but while you're doing that and you're running to them again later on the trail or kind of with them and stuff, and like, hey man, and y'all just kind of tag along. You tend to be, you end up being around the same fitness or whatever, kind of running the same speed, and it's like an unspoken, you don't have to like say anything, but like we're gonna run together for a few miles and help
Yeah.
be there. Just having a body by you like is supportive. But it's really good. What I'm trying to think, or did you have any other questions for me, or
What do you, okay, so like in archery, you know, whenever you get ready to draw back on an arrow, everyone has like their own thing that they do. Like maybe it's taking a deep breath, you know, counting, or, you know, when you draw your arrow back and then you're like, okay, I'm going to wait a couple of seconds. I'm going to like let my arm move for a second. You know, like everybody has their own thing before they do something. What is your thing before you run?
right? So I guess that would relate to like someone's mantra or what they have in their head. That's a lot of people will say like or tips to run a distance or do whatever is have like a mantra, like you're saying, like, well, why are you doing this, and keep going. I've talked about before, and I feel like anything I've said on here I'll probably talk to you about. Sure, good good teammate and sounding board, but it's best to, what is it, refer to yourself like, I think it's not saying I, like I can do this, or I could run faster, or I can make it through this. It's better if you say, like, I always imagine like a couple of my favorite coaches from like high school and stuff, or like my dad or somebody, like using my last name or talking to you, so it feels like it involves more people, and like gives you that like someone is supporting you kind of thing. So like you talk to yourself like, come on Frank, or like, let's go Colburn. And so typically I like to say either like, we just keep moving, and that can drag out like me talking to myself for like a long time. Like, we just keep moving, and there we go. Your foot's in front of the other one. That's what I'm talking about. Way to go, Colburn. Look up. You got that. You've already done like, look, there goes 10 feet. This may suck, but you're not dead. Let's go.
Right.
Like, I just keep like talking and rambling, and then before you know it, you're at the next aid station.
Yeah. I will say this last time that I went running with you, I was praying while I was running.
Yeah.
And it definitely, like, I probably prayed for like 20 minutes, you know, and I was like, wow, I'm already, you know, halfway done, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that went by a lot quicker than I was expecting.
That's what, and it kind of goes in the same vein. I do like praying to be like grateful, and there's, a whole nother tier of good things like from that, but it's keeping your mind busy and off the, whatever you're struggling, your foot may hurt or the distance or you're tired or you're thirsty or it's hot or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's keeping you busy. Why?
Instead of fixating on, what is bothering you, which you're like, you know what, I don't have to do this. Or you can have a different mindset and be talking to God or thinking about other things, and you're just like, da da da.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of people also like listen to music and stuff. I had a good talk with a firefighter I mentioned at the last race.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he has to do the training. They're required an hour a day, I believe, and he's just been getting on the treadmill and running for like an hour to get his like miles in. And we talked about listening to music or not and stuff. And he was like, "No, I don't like to have any more distractions than I need. Like I get enough of that. Like my running time is time for me to be in my own mental space and coach myself or fight with myself or whatever, and get through it." And I think that's really, really important. And that's something I've said as well. Why I like running so much is because and there's been times I do listen to music, or mostly it's podcasts. I definitely listen to more podcasts and things when I was training for OCR stuff. It's just the different goals, I guess, in like headspace that I'm in now, but wanting to do the longer distance things. Yeah, music helps. If you're trying to do like a long run, it's going to be 3 hours or whatever. You're like, let's listen to something. I've done that a couple of times, but
And then other times it's nice to just have your alone time and with your thoughts.
yeah,
Or,
I think it's like with the kids, if they're going to watch something, it used to be much easier when you didn't have more, well, not just with kids, with anybody. More choices brings more more problems or more time than opportunities for things to distract you. So if you spend more time without choices, without like, I don't want to listen to this music now, I'm going to listen to this song. Or you have that option because you have it on you and you're like, I want to listen to this or whatever. But time running is just, it's just you in your head. So I think it helps us also be able to be not like at peace with ourselves, but you're okay with that, like awkward, I would say awkward silence. Like there's that, you can tell when everyone's like stopped talking abruptly and you're just like, well, that feels weird. Like,
Yeah.
what do we do? Like, it's kind of the same thing with like our mind being calm or not distracted by something. You're like, oh no.
Well, when you're at home and you've got, kids running around or TV going or, Facebook, whatever it is, I feel like when you're out running, like, you don't have any distraction. It's just you running.
That's a lot. That's a lot that I like about it too, because I turn it into, it is definitely my me time. So I feel like it's my me time and I get to do this hobby. And it's also like exercise, so I feel real good about doing it. And I try to differentiate or make the when I come home or when I'm not doing that, like then stay focused on that, or like, okay, we're home. Help with you or talk with you or visit with you, visit with the kids, play with the kids, do something that commit time to that.
That's how I feel about my garden. Just out there digging in the dirt.
That's good. And then that also like, you're providing like food, for your family, and you're like learning a skill. And
when the plants decide to cooperate, yeah.
I'm surprised those peas and whatever came up. They were like in the dirt for like over 2 weeks or something, right? And then it finally rained and they shot up.
Yes, I replanted all of my seeds twice. It was ridiculous.
That's right, I forgot.
And then finally we got some rain. Apparently they didn't like our water hose water. Yeah, and then they all just started shooting up. That's
and they
great.
all shot up. Yep. That's awesome.
Yes, I love it. It's very satisfying.
What else? Oh, I'm messing this up. Other announcement was going to be, if I can remember, I'll say it again at the end of the podcast. But I believe I've been posting every week, and I've been talking and thinking about doing every other week once I got like a bunch kind of going, and I have. So I think I'm going to be posting every other week, same Sunday, and I might add a different kind of side segment in or show I've thought about too. Just kind of, see what happens. If something big happens or I get an opportunity to interview somebody or whatnot, then we can pop it in. But I think I'm going to do every other week, and then might mix in some special stuff in between. I think that opens the door for that. And we'll see. Do you know what a toe box is?
your shoe, like the end of the shoe where your toes go.
Yeah. Very good.
I remember you doing a whole segment over shoes.
You listened to it too?
I didn't listen to it, but you told me about it.
Oh, see? You remembered though.
I did. I listened
Very good.
more than you think I do.
Awesome. Let's see. What is if somebody's hill striking, what does that mean?
Hill striking?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I feel like it would be like when you go to take a step, like you're landing hard with your heel.
Yeah, pretty much. And your heel is like taking more of the impact
Yeah.
than you should be. Let's see.
Why do you want to quiz me on this stuff? Why don't you ask me like Pokemon questions?
Just,
We can do Pokemon all day.
oh my gosh. Every other. Let's see.
That's what your special segment should be about.
Nope.
Pokemon.
Now, trail running type Pokemon. What's a fast? If you could be a Pokemon running a trail race, what would you be?
I mean, in the, what's it called? The little segment that they did on Pokemon, or the vacation one,
Oh,
where Pikachu and Raichu are
the
like,
beginning of the movie, they are pretty much like,
yeah, they go
doing a
like
race.
cheek to cheek, and then they just like blaze a trail. I'm like, that's pretty fast.
so, would you be Pikachu or Raichu?
But then there's like Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. I feel like they're really athletic.
Like fighters.
Fighters,
runners.
yes, but I feel like they could.
Is there a specific, like, well, yeah, there's some Pokemon, I guess, that are like made for like running. Trio, or no, not the Diglett one, but the bird with 3 heads.
Oh,
Dude, it's Duduo, and then a
Dutrio.
Dutrio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is supposed to be like a really fast one. I know they race on the old episodes against like Ponytail Arcanine or whatever.
You know, like Pidgey has like quick attack.
She can't run. I'm talking about running.
She's still fast.
No,
She could
Flying.
probably run if she wanted to.
no, not very good. Not a bird. All right, now back to trail. Trail talk. Let me think. What? Oh, man.
Sorry, I got you all distracted with Pokemon.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about Pokemon stuff. What is? And I have some, so you've probably seen me use it. What's Tailwind? Explain to me like
Tailwind.
what it does.
Oh, is that powder you put in your drinks?
It is.
I'm assuming it has something to do with electrolytes or protein or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Typically, they have recovery ones that have protein in it, but yeah, so it's like electrolytes and actually carbs, and some carbs in there. So it's like a fuel also,
You could use some carbs.
hydration and fuel. Speaking of carbs, we've been eating your raisin bread that you made, which has been fantastic. I made a normal. So she made a loaf of bread in quotes the other week or two, and it didn't rise, and it was okay.
It was
Sure,
okay.
bread.
It tasted like yeast.
And I was really wanting to make some bread too, so I made some bread, and it was okay. It definitely rose and like
You
looked
just
like a
had to
loaf
show me up.
a little bit. And well, I'm glad we both wanted to like bake some bread. And then I get home the other day, and she's pulling out. She made like a twisted cinnamon raisin bread, and it is like awesome.
Thank you. I was really worried because it didn't rise either. Don't know why I can't get the bread to rise, but you know.
I think all the raisins like weigh it down too, so it's like not gonna rise as much.
It wasn't rising
was
before I put the raisins in it.
That was a good amount of raisins in it though. It was super like real pretty, all twisted and stuff. What is? I don't want to ask like a particular like part of a shoe again, but more of like,
It's a dog.
oh my gosh,
Wait. You'll have to cut that out.
oh my gosh, all these animals.
You're welcome.
What is like tempo work or like strides?
Strides. I feel like that is when you pick your foot up and go into your next step, like the amount of time it takes from your back foot being picked up to where it lands.
That
Does that make sense?
yes, that is your stride. I guess it has a different reference, if that's right, during as like a workout strides. It's essentially like you're running, like you're just gonna run like every 10 minutes or something, you're going to run real fast for a minute or 5 minutes or something like that. Then you stop, and then you run fast. And then you don't necessarily stop, you just slow down your
Yeah.
speed, and then you speed up. Same with tempo, is like kind of more focused on a specific pace. So people are like, I'm going to be running race pace for 10 minutes, and I'm going to run for 30 minutes, and then...
Kind of like a music tempo, like dun, 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 dun. You try and keep your steps like...
That is going to be like cadence.
Oh. Well, I feel like that should be tempo. Cadence sounds like somebody's name.
You're right. I'll tell all the trail running community will change that now.
Good deal.
What's the longest you've ran?
That day you made me run like 5 miles because you told me the trail was going to take us back to the beginning and you lied.
One that we talked about?
Yes.
Well, okay. I was going to ask about the Conquer the Gauntlet because I think that was like 6 or 9 maybe, but that wasn't a lot of running.
It wasn't. Thank God there was obstacles.
That's what I tell people. If you're going to do it, it's really good because it's not all running, and you have to, unless you're doing the competitive wave, because you get into the obstacles and you pretty much have to just go into them and blow through them and do it. But if you're in the non-competitive waves, there tends to be a line.
Yeah.
So you're waiting plenty of minutes.
That was probably the only thing I didn't like. Which, I mean,
Some of it's too
I
long.
appreciated
Yeah.
the waiting. But yeah, some of it was super long.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to get through this and keep going.
Yeah, exactly. You did, oh no, you did when we did the 1 mile fun run with the kids. You did that with it. That's what it was.
Well, I ran with Jax though.
Yeah. Which is like, yeah, jogging along.
Yes. We came in last, I believe. No, there may have been one person behind us.
Yeah.
But he is only 5 and his little side cramped up. So he was struggling.
They did exactly what you would think kids do. Like, it's a race? Okay, I'm going to sprint.
Yeah.
Like, guys, this is a mile.
Tried
It's
to
okay.
explain
like,
it.
No.
Pacing yourself. And he's like, nope. What does he call it? His cheetah speed?
Yeah. Oh, he was ready to do, he was so excited to do cheetah speed.
Yes.
So you have to say that till the end, okay? You wait till you get towards the end.
And you know what? He did talk about it the whole time. He was holding his little side, and when we got to the halfway point, he's like, Mom, I just don't have any more cheetah speed. I just can't do it. I'm like, yeah, you can. Come on, buddy. He's like, I can't. My cheetah speed is gone. And then when we got to the end and we could see everybody, he was like,
clapping and stuff.
yes.
And, yeah.
He was like, oh, I think I got some cheetah speed back. And he took off.
That's awesome. That is exactly how it works, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love seeing people coming in and I'll ring the cowbell and stuff or yell for them. And they're like, you're doing great. And like, oh, and you're just like, it's so nice hearing the music when you're getting close to the finish line and hearing people and stuff. And you're like, oh, let's go. And you're like, wow, here's all this energy I have again. So like that also like helps me run. I'm like, dude, you're still moving. You're still doing fine. If you're almost done, you get through like, again, your pace is like so important. Yeah, it's pretty much most of it. I just wanted to kind of talk and hang out, have you in for an interview here. Anything you think I should ask, or I don't know, tips for somebody that is maybe having secret, I don't want to say hate, or like anger against their running spouse?
No, I mean, at first, I would get a little irritated because you were running all the time and you'd be gone. And I'd be like, what about the kids? What about me? Kind of being selfish. But it's not like you're out doing, drugs or anything. You're out running.
As far as you know.
As far as I know. As far as I know, yes. You're bettering yourself. And I don't know. I think it's almost kind of become more of a respect thing. Like, you sit out on the porch every morning with your Bible and you read your Bible, you take your notes, and then you go run. Like, that's amazing. How many people actually do that? So you're staying in shape, 1, with your faith, and then 2, physically. And you're super thoughtful and caring. And like we were talking about this morning, you texted me the other day, when's the last time you did anything for yourself? When's the last time you just, relaxed? Like, that's so cool, that you're always thinking about your wife and your kids and, others, not just yourself. So I do notice these things. It's not just, oh, Frank's out running. You do things for me and the kids, and, you're just an all-around great husband and dad. So.
Wow. Well, we'll end it right here. No.
We're very, very blessed to have you.
Thank you very, very much. That's very sweet. I did not expect you to say that. But I think...
Are your eyes watering?
Since we are... if you should listen to the volunteer episode. I like get choked up at the end of it.
Do you?
What I do.
What? Frank used to have no emotion.
Yeah. You have kids and things change.
It does. Everything changes for the better.
If you are a spouse or in a relationship or fiance or whatever, how you want to say, if you're with anyone, I guess if we can touch on this, since we are, whatever, a functioning couple, that's still, our anniversary is coming up.
I know.
I can't remember what day it is. Is it the 11th?
No.
See, I don't know.
October 1st.
It's the 1st?
Yes.
Oh, crud.
Yeah. Like in a few days.
And I thought it was like, well, the 11th makes sense if I was thinking 1. Dang.
Yeah, we will have been married 7 years, together for 12.
Dang. See,
right?
I don't know. That's something else too. Like we don't, I was telling someone else, like we don't like focus a whole lot on like our birthdays or anniversary necessarily, or like it's still nice to notice and mention like little things here and there, like Valentine's Day or like whatever. I think it lines up with your priorities and everything, but also in like a religious realm or Christian realm or people who follow Christ, like that helps you want to be a servant and be more giving and think about how you act. So then you take that into your relationship and you think about, what am I doing? Have I done something to help someone else? Have I done something that is, that I don't want to do? Consideration, right? Being just considerate all around, and it goes to, that leads to like everything else. Are you disciplined in working out, in helping your loved one, in reading the Bible, in, reflecting what it says? Are you being the dad that you want to see, or that you think of, like if you are, I had a good guy, how did he word it? That I work with, he said pretty much he sees it as, if he is like, he said it as like being like a good role model, or a man or a dad, or even like cooking dinner. He's like, I see it as, if I am capable of cooking dinner, then I am responsible for cooking dinner if it's needing to be done. If I'm capable of speaking the word to somebody that needs to hear it, then I am responsible for speaking the word to somebody that needs to hear it. I was like, yeah, that's a good man. If you're, if you know what a good man is, or good dad is, then you're responsible for being one. Then do it.
I like it.
But yes, so that's lots of fun stuff to chew on. Maybe I'll have you on again for some more. Maybe we'll get like a lightning round of questions put together. We'll do like every other one, Pokemon, one trail running. Yeah, so all right, Miss Jordan, thank you so much for joining me here. We'll have the kids on some other time, and we'll see how it goes. I bet you'll listen to this episode.
I don't even know where to listen to it.
Gosh, what's the name of the podcast?
Light on the Trail.
Oh, okay, good. My goodness, I was like, you've got to know.
Yeah, that makes me sound terrible. What do you use? Castbox?
It's on anything.
Oh,
If you Google it, if you Google Light on the Trail,
it'll come up.
Take you to whatever player, Spotify. It's just not on YouTube, which I guess I should get on there because that's what a lot of people do. It's just more grounds for it to like people to find it.
Yeah.
I haven't made a Facebook page for it or anything. That's not why I necessarily wanted to do it. So that's kind of, when I started, it's just like, we'll see how it goes. Fast about it, pray, and let's just have fun. Because I'm an audio guy too, and I wanted to grow from that. But I'm trying to wrap it up.
Sorry.
So
thank you for having me. I love you, and this was fun.
Thanks, ma'am. Love you too.
Yep.
Guys, thanks for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to email us, or ideas or anything like that, at fullsteamaudio@outlook.com. And may the dirt be forever under your feet. Bye.